All right, we're back with the MMA Superfan here, and we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the biggest killers in one championship. It's a debate that's been going on, especially for American fans, for fans in the United States and Canada who are just getting into one championship now with the product available on Prime Video, and they don't know where to start and who to watch. We're going to talk about some of the biggest killers in this organization that you can start watching right now. We're gonna start it off. I'd like to start it off with Bong. Actually, we're gonna change the order up a little bit here. Bong, yeah, take it away, man. Who's your first
Yep.
killer in one championship?
Well, my first, well, not first, but my best killer in one championship has to be the double champ, Rainier the Ritter. Yeah, because just one look at Rainier the Ritter, you would immediately, this guy will dominate anyone inside the cage. Be it his striking, especially his grappling. He is a master grappler. I think he can jump into ADCC anytime he wants, and he'll just collect medals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a good choice actually. Rainer de Ritter, 2 division, 1 world
Yep.
champion,
Middleweight,
obviously
light heavyweight,
middleweight and light heavyweight. He beat the legendary, Online Song
twice.
twice basically, and then he made Vitaly Big Dash look like a fool basically. Even though that match was highly hyped, it was greatly hyped. Rainier,
Yep.
made easy work of Vitaly pretty much.
Yeah.
That was an interesting thing. The only knock that I have on Rainier right now is that he doesn't have many challengers lined up for him right now. He tried to go for the he his last fight was against the
Vitaly,
welterweight champ,
middleweight.
right?
Oh,
Abasov.
oh yeah.
Cameron
Yeah,
Abasov.
before
Abasov.
Vitaly, he fought Abasov. Abasov
Yes.
moved up to middleweight to challenge him for the middleweight title.
All right. Yeah, so I think I think definitely he's one of the biggest killers in one because I think he can beat anybody in the world pretty much. What do you guys think? Like,
I mean, sorry. I mean,
Go,
add
go, go.
what Carlos said about him being a 2 division champion. I mean, who's next, right? So the most logical thing is him going for a third belt. So is a third belt possible? And against who? I mean, as you mentioned, he already fought Abasov, but that was in middleweight. I mean, is it a better option for him to cut weight and go down to Abasov's weight or to welterweight? Abasov, by the way, is fighting Christian Lee. So whoever wins that match could be next for RDR. But the thing is, can he go down at that weight class and he'd still be the same fighter, the same dominant fighter that he is? Or there's another option. He could just climb up. And there's 2 huge monsters in that heavyweight division who holds the titles. It's either you got Argent, who's the current champion, and the interim champion, Anatoly Malikin. So I think Malikin and RDR already had some back and forth, right? So there's a history over there. So what do you think, guys? Is it better for him to go down to welterweight, or is going up in weight the better option?
I think he said already that he's not gonna go down to welterweight. He can't go down to welterweight, so he might move up to heavyweight. But yeah, as Bong said, as Carlos said, I don't really have a lot to knock on Rainier, the Ritter. But one thing is that he's been defending.
okay, there we go.
Yep. Am I gone? Was I gone? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you went to the nether realm for a minute there.
Channeling my inner Bong. So yeah, as I mentioned, I would agree that there's not a lot to knock about Rainier the Ritter, but I feel like he hasn't been tested in the heavier weight class. The only fight that he's done at light heavyweight was with Ong, and that's the only fight that he didn't finish so far. Well, apart from the Andre Galval draw. But I feel like he is one of the biggest killers in middleweight. He has proven that he's dominant, but I'm not really sure if he could take on somebody like Malikin. Do you think he can take on Malikin, Bong, or Buller?
Well, let's let's wait and find out if he's
Yeah.
actually going to get the heavyweight title shot. That's what he wants, right?
Yeah,
He
he
wants to
was.
do something that nobody's ever done before, which is go for 3 belts in 3 different weight classes in MMA. That's unheard of, basically. And
Yeah.
holding them all at the same time, that's next to impossible, right? Especially with the level of talent that One Championship has right now. Um, you've got grapplers in the heavyweight division. You don't just have strikers. You got even Malikin.
Checha.
Malikin is a wrestler,
Yeah,
first and
Malikin is a
foremost.
natural wrestler,
Yeah,
but
Buchecha
uses
is
his
a
hands.
BJJ legend. So these are all like great matchups for Rainier. But I do think that he's cleared out the middleweight division pretty much.
Yeah.
I do think heavyweight would probably be in his future if he wants to go up. He has the body type to do it. He's tall, he's big, he's long. He just needs to bulk up a little bit more, get accustomed to the heavyweight weight class, and he can dominate at heavyweight. And you know how fans love heavyweights.
Yeah.
Yeah, heavyweights gets the most shine in any organization, in any fight sport. So yeah, thanks for that, Bong. Number 2, I'll go next. So my pick for one of the biggest killers, he hasn't actually made his debut yet in One Championship, but he made a lot of waves when he did sign with One Championship earlier this year. And I'm talking about Roberto Soldic, the former 2-division KSW world champion. You know, I've been watching this guy, and he looks very solid. He looks very intense. His highlights, obviously, he spent most of his time competing locally in his region in Europe, but man, he has some very dangerous hands. Like he swings like John Lineker almost, as a welterweight. So he has a bigger body type. He can definitely, I think he has a lot of great like matchups waiting for him at welterweight and at middleweight. Obviously he's fighting Murad Ramazanov next, one of the biggest Russian killers. He's going to make his one debut in Manila this December, but he's got so many options in One Championship in terms of opponents. You got Aung Lansong, you've got Renier de Ridder himself, you got Sebastian Kadestam. So these are all very exciting fights. And Roberto wants to do it all, man. He doesn't just want to win the MMA world title. He wants kickboxing, yeah, Muay Thai, boxing. He wants to be a multi-sport world champion. But I think the most compelling fight for him is definitely the RDR fight, because RDR has been just so dominant, and I just can't wait to see that one. What are your guys' thoughts on Roberto Soldic?
Yeah, personally, I just really want to see how he fares. I mean, he's been dominant. He has a good record, but I'm not sure how he would fare with the quality of fighters that are waiting for him in One Championship. The durability of the fighters, the finishing power, and the rules, the global rule set that we use, the global rule set that One Championship uses. I mean, these are things that I'm not sure if he's gonna be like used to at the first jump. Do you think he'd like adjust properly with those? I mean, DJ, one of the best fighters of all time, was like shocked when he got kneed to the face, to the head by Adriano Moraes. I mean, what's stopping like somebody like Sebastian Kadestam from doing the same thing to him?
Well, the difference with that is DJ came from the UFC, so he came from the Western organizations. This guy, Roberto Soldic, is coming from Europe, so he's used to fighting on this regional circuit, and I think he'll adjust well to the rule set and to the weight and hydration protocols. And he's just an all action fighter in my eyes. He just goes straight for the kill. He's got 20 victories, and 18 of those have ended inside the distance. So he's got 17 knockouts and one weird submission victory on his record. But yeah, he goes for the kill, man. So that's why I think he's going to be a big killer. We've got a lot of killers in One Championship. A lot of people, fans should watch out for. But when this guy makes his debut in December, I think it's just going to ignite the whole the whole division, the whole organization, and he's just gonna come out as a big star. I know a lot of people in the States are gonna be happy to watch him on Prime Video, so that's something that I'm very excited for. Uh, moving on to the next one, let's go to Krill. Who's your killer in one championship?
I mean, I love your picks, guys, but you cannot disrespect the GOAT like that. Come on, man. Demetrius Johnson is still the ultimate killer in one championship. I mean, it's not even close. The resume alone speaks for itself. He's like 4-1 in the circle. If you add the Rodtang fight, it makes it 5-1. So of course, the lone blemish in his career is with Adriano Moraes, which he avenged in like the most poetic way possible. A knee for a knee, right? So, and then again, he also won the first ever mixed rules bout in one championship history. I mean, the promotion loves it so much that they're doing a second one next year with Anisa and Stamp. So he's a game changer already. And again, he also survived an all-striking match with Rotang in the first round of their special rules. I mean, who does that, right? He not only survived the onslaught, he held his own on the feet against in it's Rotang's world. So, and then the second round, he didn't play around and took him down, submitted him, took him up. So, I mean, as far as versatility, as far as track record, DJ he's the GOAT, man. Let's not kid ourselves, he's the GOAT.
One question I have for DJ, or actually for you, Krill, is do you think he's a bigger star here in one championship than he was, back when he was in the UFC? Do you think he has more fans now that one has been promoting him to a greater extent?
Definitely. I mean, in North America, they're all about the bigger guys, right? I mean, as much as the lighter guys were tearing it up, bringing exciting fights, fast-paced action, the versatility. For some reason, they just weren't marketed enough, in my opinion. So with one, it's a whole different world. I mean, one fans are more appreciative of the skills that these lighter guys bring. So I think the level of competition that has faced so far in one is above what he's faced before in his career. So I think he's gotten more Asian fans, and he's already a known name in North America. So with the expansion and all, his legend's just gonna continue to grow.
Yeah, I think DJ has definitely gotten more shine in one championship, especially with his mixed rules fight with Rodtang, like you said. That was very exciting, man. He stood up against the Muay Thai fighter for an entire round, couldn't take him down because it was against the rules. So he decided to trade. He didn't run away like people expected him to. He didn't shy away from the firefight. He was right there in the pocket with with Rodtang, trading leather basically.
If anything,
and then yep.
What I would like point out with DJ is that maybe to your point, Carlos, he wasn't as big of a star in the UFC, mainly because maybe he's a small guy, and as Krill said, the heavyweights, the bigger guys get all the shine in the UFC. But Esquire came out with this profile on DJ. Gotta check that out. It was like he wanted to take a piss in a bar, and the bar owner was like, "You gotta be a patron to take a piss." So it's like this is one of the best fighters in MMA, and you can't even let the guy piss in your bar without even taking him. I mean, if anything, DJ is such a nice guy that I can't like marry the fact that he's a killer, but he's such a great guy, man.
Yeah, I guess it's different when you're talking about DJ the person. DJ the person is like, he's a family man. He's a nerd Twitch streamer. Yeah, he's basically us, right?
Yeah.
We're just
but with muscles.
Minus the abs and stuff like that. But yeah, so he's just a regular dude basically.
He's just a regular guy who was born with mixed martial arts ability.
That's
Godly-
right, man. So
Godly mixed martial arts ability.
yeah, you really can't forget about the GOAT. People, have this GOAT conversation, but man, DJ is the GOAT for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Last guy on our list, Vault, was your killer.
Dude, we can't talk about the killers in one championship without talking about Christian
You
Lee.
got stuck. It's the Lazada curse. You're getting stuck, man.
Ah, Singapore internet is
back.
failing me. Singapore internet is failing me. So, we can't talk about the killers of one championship without talking about Christian Lee. The one lightweight world champion holds the record for most wins in one championship. He has the most finishes with 11. He has the most finishes in one championship. He has 11 knockouts, 4 submissions, winningest fighter in one championship history right now. Most of those wins came from the lightweight division. From the featherweight division. But Shinya Aoki unleashed a different beast when he invited Christian Lee to come over to the lightweight division. And now, like, he's been tearing through the competition. His only loss was a very controversial decision to Okreyun, and we saw what happened when Christian Lee had to prove something. If he wants to prove something, he's like super motivated, and we saw the results, man. Okreyun had no chance in that match. So he recently claimed that he's the best lightweight in the world, and I dare say this is enough motivation, enough of something to prove for him to like tear through whatever competition comes his way.
Yeah, Christian Lee was my first pick before I changed it to Roberto Soldic, man.
Yeah.
I'm just so high on Christian Lee. I just think he has the complete, skill set to compete with anybody in the world, basically. And he's proven it. It's not just all talk. It's not just all speculation. He's handled all the killers in one championship. Everybody who's basically a killer in the lightweight division, he's handled, except for the new guys. You got Halil Amir coming up. Saeed Izagakmaev, Khabib Nurmagomedov's protege. So those guys are going to be stiff challenges for Christian Lee, but you really can't count him out, man. You really can't count Christian Lee out against any fighter in the lightweight division, especially with what he's shown, right? Especially in his last fight against Okreyun, where he just completely obliterated the guy. What are your thoughts on this one, Bong?
Yeah, I think Christian has, he's already proven that he's the best lightweight in the world, and he's very young. He's only 24, 25. So just look at that upside. Before he reaches 30, he has 5 more years before he reaches 30. So many years in his prime. I think he's just entering his prime. So I think he will be an unstoppable force. If he wins against Abasov for the welterweight title, I mean, he could be the best pound for.
That's a good point.
His destructive force is just too much. What he did to Okreyun in the rematch was, I think, it should be illegal.
Should have been arrested for that.
He should have been arrested. The Singapore police should have arrested him. If that happened outside the cage.
Oh man, that was scary. Yeah, somebody would have gone home in chains.
Yeah. What's scary about Christian Lee is that he has, as I mentioned, he has 11 knockouts in his 16 fights? 16 wins. 11 knockouts in his 16 wins. But he's primarily a grappler, isn't he?
Yeah, he started as a grappler. His base is grappling, like his older sister Angela.
Yeah.
Their base is grappling, but Christian is just a destructive force.
Yeah, Christian is good all around, basically. That's how their father, Ken Lee, taught them how to fight. Just use all the weapons available. In a mixed martial arts setting, it's not, take him to the ground and grapple him. It's not, keep the fight standing and strike with his opponent. It's not like that. It's more like read every situation, basically, and see what's the best, angle of attack for that particular moment. So that's what makes Christian Lee so dangerous, in my opinion. And, he's been competing at the highest level for such a long time now. And the only person that's been able to give him a run for his money, basically, was Martin Nguyen. And that was a long time ago. The two have, diverged paths, and they've just, there's just a huge gap in skill and talent level now. Christian Lee is just at the top, man. He's the cream of the crop.
Yeah, he lost to Martin Nguyen, but that was in the featherweight division. That's why what I mentioned was like, even if he did most of his damage in the featherweight division, maybe he couldn't get past Martin. But I mean, now that he's in the lightweight division, he's like completely different monster, man.
Yeah, so those are the
I'm curious how he'll do in welterweight. I mean, he's gonna be fighting Abasov, and it's a whole different world out there. So I mean, we see him grow into his body. It's a lot bigger now, more muscular. But again, if he gets past Abasov, if he gets that champ status, what's next? I mean, you got Soldic, you got the Candy stamps, the
Just
possibilities
another
are
step up to just another step up in competition.
definitely. So
yeah, it
what
depends.
is-
I guess it depends on how good he will look in the welterweight division. You know, if he does end up beating Abasov and getting that second world title, and if he does look good doing a whole new world for him at welterweight.
Yeah, and he's very tall for a lightweight. He's 5'11", so he already has the frame to compete at welterweight. And I think if he becomes successful at welterweight, Adrian is 17 years old. I think he'll join one championship next year and hand the lightweight division to the youngest Lee sibling.
Yeah, I think Adrian is like I think is a little bit bigger than Christian. I
Yep,
think right
Adrian
now.
is taller than
Yeah, he's
Christian.
taller. The younger brother, man, taller than the older brother, taller than the kuya.
Well, same thing with the little sister.
Yeah, I
Looks like
think
she's bigger
Victoria.
than she's gonna grow
Victoria
bigger
is
than her
taller.
older
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah, the food is different nowadays, man. They're
Yeah,
making
man.
these kids like huge, right?
We're
Man,
huge.
it's different.
But
Yeah, I
not
wish we had
muscles.
this growing up. I would be 6 foot tall right now playing professional basketball, but dang. Yeah, so those are the killers in one championship. So anybody who wants to, check out one championship and anybody who's just getting into it, man, those are the guys, RDR, Christian Lee, Roberto Soldic, DJ. There's many more killers in one championship, a lot more you can watch. And we'll get into that, in later episodes of this podcast. But yeah, thanks
Those
for joining
two
us
guys
today.
right there. Those two guys right there.
Those two guys, yeah, right there fighting this Friday night at One in Prime Video 3. That's John Lineker and Fabricio Andrade. One of the most anticipated bantamweight fights in one history. So yeah, check it out. But thanks for joining us tonight on the podcast, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye, guys.